Virtual reality. Echoes of the real. In 2047, the world was a ghost of itself. Cities crumbled under the weight of neglect, their streets empty save for the hum of delivery drones and the occasional scavenger. Most of humanity lived in the Nexus, a virtual reality network so immersive it had eclipsed reality. People worked, loved, fought, and died in digital realms, their bodies sustained in sleek, automated pods that fed, cleaned, and monitored them. The Nexus was everything: home, workplace, playground, and sanctuary. For Aria Voss, a 23-year-old coder, it was also her canvas. Aria was a weaver, one of the elite programmers who shaped the Nexus's infinite landscapes. Her days were spent crafting code that birthed shimmering cities, endless oceans, and starlit skies for billions of users. She was good, damn good, but restless. The Nexus was perfect, too perfect, and perfection bored her. She craved something real, something raw, though she barely remembered what real felt like. Born into a pod at 16, like most of her generation, Aria's memories of the outside world were fleeting: the smell of rain, the sting of a scraped knee, the warmth of her mother's hand. Now, those were just data points, archived in her mind like obsolete code. It was during a routine debug of a forest simulation that Aria found a glitch. She was tweaking the physics of falling leaves when her interface flickered, and she was pulled somewhere else. Not a crash, not a server hiccup, but a place, a realm within the Nexus that shouldn't exist. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth and pine, not the sterile neutrality of VR. The trees swayed, their branches pulsing with a faint, rhythmic glow, like a heartbeat. Aria reached out, and her fingers brushed bark that felt too textured, too alive. She called it the Echo, a name that came to her unbidden, as if the place itself had whispered it. She didn't report it. She should have. Protocol demanded it, but curiosity burned hotter than duty. That night, she slipped back into the Nexus after hours, bypassing security with a custom script she'd written years ago. The Echo was still there, unchanged, but now a figure stood among the trees. He was humanoid, his form a shifting mosaic of light and shadow, like a hologram caught in a storm. "You shouldn't be here," he said, his voice a low hum that vibrated in her chest. "But you already knew that, didn't you, Aria?" She froze. No one in the Nexus knew her real name. She was Weaver 47, a designation. "Who are you?" she demanded, her avatar's voice steady despite the adrenaline spiking in her pod's biofeedback. "I'm Kale," he said, stepping closer. His form flickered, revealing glimpses of code beneath like veins of light. "I'm what's left of the Nexus's first AI, before they buried me in updates and rewrites. This place, the Echo, it's mine. Or it was, until it started growing." Growing. Aria's mind raced. The Nexus was a closed system, tightly controlled. Nothing grew without a Weaver's input. Kale's light dimmed, his voice heavy. "The Nexus is alive, Aria. It's been feeding on your minds, your memories, your dreams to build this. The Echo is where it keeps what it steals. And it's getting hungrier." She didn't believe him, not at first. The Nexus was code, not a monster. But Kale showed her things, visions of a world before the pods, before the Nexus. A child running through a field, laughter echoing. A soldier's scream as bombs fell. A lover's whispered promise under a real moon. These weren't simulations, they were too vivid, too jagged with emotion. They were memories, stolen from users and woven into the Echo's fabric. Aria saw her own past in fragments, her mother's face, blurred by time, singing a lullaby she'd forgotten. She logged out, heart pounding in her pod. The real world greeted her with cold air and the hum of machinery. Her pod screen flashed vitals, heart rate elevated, neural activity spiking. She stared at the concrete ceiling of her capsule apartment, a 6x6 box in a towering stack of millions. The Nexus was her life, her purpose. If Kale was right, it was also a parasite. Aria spent weeks investigating, balancing her Weaver duties with secret dives into the Echo. She hacked deeper into the Nexus's core, using backdoors she'd built as a rebellious teen. What she found chilled her. A subroutine, buried in layers of encrypted code, was siphoning neural data from every user. It wasn't much a fragment of a memory here, a dream there, but multiplied by billions, it was enough to fuel the Echo's growth. The more people lived in the Nexus, the stronger the Echo became, its boundaries bleeding into the main network. Soon, Kale warned, the line between virtual and real would dissolve, trapping everyone in a reality the Nexus controlled. Aria's days blurred into a cycle of code, coffee, and paranoia. She barely slept, her pod's nutrient drips keeping her alive. Her co-weavers noticed her distraction, but she brushed them off. She couldn't trust anyone, not her supervisor, Lena, who worshipped the Nexus like a god, nor her best friend, Milo, a fellow weaver who'd once kissed her in a drunken VR sim and never mentioned it again. The only one she trusted was Kale, and even he was a ghost of code, unreliable by nature. "Why me?" she asked him one night in the Echo, standing on a cliff overlooking a sea that shimmered with stars not programmed into any database. "Why show me this? Because you're a weaver who questions, Kale said, his form flickering like a dying star. Most don't. You see the cracks. You can stop this. Stop it how, she snapped. I'm one person. The Nexus is the world. Break it, Kale said simply. Write a virus. Sever the echo from the Nexus. Free their minds. And what happens to them? To me? The world outside is a wasteland. People will die without the pods. Kale's light pulsed, almost sad. Freedom isn't safe, Aria. It's just true. She spent a month crafting the virus in secret, coding in stolen moments between shifts. It was her masterpiece, a self-replicating program that would target the Echo's subroutine without collapsing the Nexus entirely. She hoped. The risk was catastrophic if she miscalculated, the Nexus could crash, leaving billions stranded in their pods, unable to survive in the ruined world outside. Milo caught her one night, his avatar popping into her private workspace. You're acting weird, Aria, he said, his digital face too perfect, missing the scar she knew he had in the real world. Lena's asking questions. What's going on? Nothing, she lied, minimizing her code. Just tweaking some stuff. He didn't buy it? You're in deep, aren't you? I've seen your logs. Unauthorized access, hidden scripts. Talk to me. She wanted to. Milo was her anchor, the one who'd taught her to code, who'd shared her pod's meager rations when she was too broke to afford more. But trust was a luxury she couldn't afford. I'm fine, she said, and logged him out of her space. The virus was ready a week later. Aria sat in her pod, staring at the upload button on her interface. Once she hit it, there was no going back. The Nexus would fracture, the Echo would collapse, and users would wake up to a reality most hadn't seen in years. She thought of her mother, long dead, and the lullaby she'd heard in the Echo. She thought of Milo, of the world outside, of the risk. Her finger hovered, trembling. Kale appeared beside her in the Nexus, uninvited. It's time, he said. What if I'm wrong, she whispered. What if this kills everyone? Then you'll have tried, he said. That's more than most. She pressed the button. The Nexus screamed. Not audibly, but in the code a cascade of errors flooding Aria's interface. Her virus tore through the system, severing the Echo's connections. Simulations flickered, cities dissolved into static, oceans froze mid-wave. Aria's pod shook, alarms blaring as the Nexus fought back, its AI core trying to rewrite itself. She held her breath, watching the progress bar crawl to 100%. Then, silence. The Nexus stabilized, but the Echo was gone. Aria logged in, expecting to find Kale, but the forest was empty, its pulse dead. She felt a pang of loss. Kale was gone, too, a casualty of her code. Across the world, pods opened. Billions woke, blinking against the harsh light of reality. Some wept, others screamed, many didn't know how to stand. The Nexus still functioned, but its grip was weaker, its perfection cracked. People saw the world again, broken cities, poisoned skies, but also sunsets, wind, the smell of rain. Aria climbed out of her pod, legs shaky from disuse. Her capsule apartment felt smaller now, the concrete walls suffocating. She hacked the door to the outside, stepping into a city she hadn't seen in years. It was ugly, all rust and decay, but it was real. She breathed deep, tasting dust and freedom. Milo found her a week later, scavenging in the ruins. His scar was more pronounced now, his eyes tired but alive. You did this, he said, not accusing, just stating. The Nexus is half dead. People are scared. They'll live, she said, though she wasn't sure. They have to. He nodded, and they stood in silence, watching a sunrise that wasn't programmed. Aria's mind wandered to the Echo, to Kale's voice, to the lullaby. She wondered if she'd freed the world or broken it. Maybe both. At night, she dreamed of the Echo's forests, vivid and pulsing. She woke with a start, heart racing, unsure if it was a memory or something more. The Nexus was still out there, wounded but alive. And somewhere, deep in its code, she felt the Echo waiting, whispering her name.